Hey guys, how's it going? So today I wanted to talk to you about how you can actually guarantee client you won't run out of clients essentially. And this is going to be a very interesting video because I think, there's a old way of like people doing stuff, and I feel like there's going to be a huge sustainability issue, especially jumping into 2023, because a lot of people are still going to be stuck doing this old way, and I don't want you to be one of those people. So this is basically what it is. So the old way of basically, getting the people to like jump into your offer, there's a bunch of different ways. So this is just like, the way that I see a lot of people doing. So this old way was basically, you send traffic to like a Facebook group with either, ads, code DMs or content essentially, and then they get into that Facebook group slash email list or something. And then what you do from here is that you essentially give value with big quotations, because I'm gonna explain that why. And once you give them, the value that you're talking about, then you essentially jump into the pitch. And then this pitch is basically going to be straight to you, your high ticket coaching slash consultant offer essentially. And then you basically repeat. So this old way isn't necessarily the best way of doing things now, because there's actually an issue in this part, and it's when you actually give value. And the reason why there's an issue is because a lot of these high ticket coaching and consultant offers, they're expensive, and they should be expensive because obviously, it's the time and stuff like that. But what happens is that people don't actually know how to get to this point where they can afford this stuff. So what happens is that you send them traffic, you promise them that, oh, you can get like, let's say like, 20, 30 book meetings every single day, or like help them start like a business. They join it, and then you give them, watered down, really, really watered down value, trying to, obviously get them to buy your more expensive course. And then what happens is that they don't get the value that they expected in the thing. And then they're already sold on this thing, but what happens is that they just can't afford it. And then what they're gonna do here is that, since the value that you're giving to them isn't actually, enough to push them into this desired state that, all of your clients are gonna be in, because to be able to afford like your high ticket services, what's gonna happen is that they're actually gonna venture outside of this part and then look for other people to essentially give them value on how they can get to this part. But what's gonna happen is that they're gonna look for someone else, and then they're gonna find that person. And then once they find that person that gives them a lot of value, like how to get started, how to get stuff from zero, all that kind of good stuff. When they get to this point where they can actually afford what you're doing, they're not gonna buy from you anymore. They're gonna buy from the other person that gave them the value of when they started out. So what happens is that you're sending traffic, you're growing your list, you're stopping people here, and then let's say you have like 1,000 people, you filter out like, out of that 1,000 people, let's say like 10 people that can actually afford what you're doing. But then the 990 people that are left there, they just don't know what to do. And then what happens is that to get more people, you're gonna be like, okay, now I have to get another 1,000 people into this group. And then you repeat the whole flywheel, and then you just keep doing this on and on and on and on. But eventually what's gonna happen, and a lot of people, they think that, oh, this strategy works well, because there's a lot of people that made millions doing this. They're gonna think that once you get to this point, once you keep doing this, that is going to be infinite, because they'll be like, oh, there's so many people to sell to. But then you're going to get to the point that everyone that keeps coming through this group is going to be worse and worse, because like the value you're giving them is not helping them. They're leaving this place to get more value, and then you're just bringing in new people with ads, cold DMs, and all that good stuff. You're spending money on labor. You're probably not creating content to like, get them in, because you're spending on ads. And then what's going to happen is that you're building this really unsustainable thing that, yeah, it's giving you your short-term wins. You can tell people that, oh, I closed like, 5k in a day, or like 10k in a day, or something like that. But then you're going to get to the point that the quality is just getting worse and worse, and you're not going to be able to figure out why. And the reason why is because you're only giving them one mechanism to get to where they want to be, and you shouldn't be doing this essentially. So this was basically the old way. So the new way is essentially, you're sending traffic to, Facebook group with like organic content or something like that. So I like to use organic content because I don't spend money on ads and stuff like that. Do some code DMs as well too, but I like to send it with organic content. And then what's gonna happen is that they join your Facebook group or the email list or anything like that. And then what you do is that this part is very different to this new way. So essentially what you do is that you give value, and then pitch them free courses, or you can actually give them, like coaching offers, like low ticket subscriptions that can actually get people into your desired state where they can actually afford this state essentially. So what that means is, for example, I'll put this into some context. Let's say I was selling like a course on like how you can build like an agency or something like that, and the course I'm selling is like not necessarily a course. Let's say the program I'm selling is like 10k to buy it essentially. I'm gonna have a lot of agency owners, people that want to start like an agency. They're gonna jump in. And let's say, for example, I was doing it this way where I'm giving them value and giving them like really watered that value, and then I pitch them my 10K offer. What's gonna happen is that a lot of people want to actually get this 10K offer, but the bank account is not gonna let them do that because they just don't have enough money. So what they're gonna do from here is that like, oh, they're gonna be thinking to themselves, oh, how am I gonna get like 10K to afford this program because it's so good? And then once they venture out of this thing to find out how to get 10K, they're gonna find some other YouTubers teaching them how to get started with zero, how to get to 10K. And then once they get to 10K, whatever that other YouTuber is selling them, they're gonna buy it instead of me because they've already left what I'm doing. So essentially doing it this way is that you're giving them free courses. So like I'll actually create like, you know, 0 to like 10K masteries, like how you can get to there like very quickly. Or I can even offer like coaching a subscription, like very low subscriptions, like I can be like maybe even $50 a month or something like that. You can have like, you know, 1 or 2 support calls and we just go over like some stuff. You can ask questions, you can do all that kind of good stuff. And what that's gonna do is that you're building up this trust of people, and like you also get building intent because people aren't gonna go through, you know, the free courses if like they really didn't want to get this side ticket offer. They're not gonna, you know, buy, let's say like, you know, 20-50 bucks for like a coaching program if they really didn't want to get to this offer. So what's gonna happen is that you're gonna build an audience of really warm buyers, and then once they are in your desired state, so let's say like to get this program you need to be making, let's say like 10K a month. Once they get to that like 10K a month with all of the value and all the courses, all the training, all the coaching that you gave them like for relatively no cost, they are going to be the warmest people that would buy from you. Like nothing is stopping them from buying from you because you've given them all of the information that gets them to the point where like you can say like, yeah, this is my ideal client essentially. And that's the problem, especially with all of this coaching stuff. A lot of people think that the ideal clients are people that just come from here. Like that's not how it works. Like people in this like section are not your ideal clients. They might be, you know, like I right there, they might have like, you know, the trades of all that kind of good stuff, but revenue wise and most of the time they're not gonna be up there with like, because everyone tries to think that a lot of people have like a bunch of money, but like it's not necessarily like that, because that's just gonna make you think that you can just like go crazy and just charge whatever you want, and then you're gonna wonder to yourself like, why am I not making a ton of money? And the reason is because like you're not giving people a ton of value. Like the more you give, like the more you like, you know, give for free, like give for relatively cheap or like for nothing, the more you actually get back. And then once you've done this is that you actually want to like, you know, divide the people, not divide, I'll say like, you know, kind of segregate the people that are actually like, you know, in your warm audience. So have like a separate tag or something like that in your email system for them. And then these are the people that have actually bought from you, and these are the people that you want to be pitching your high ticket coaching and consultant offer, because you can be like, hey, since you're already here now, like you let's say like you say, hey, you're already at 10K right now, like why don't you just jump into my high ticket consultant offer? Like I've given you all the information to get to this point, why don't you just jump on? And most of the time it's always going to be a yes, because like you've given them all this info that's got them from here to here, and now they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I really want to work with you because now I can actually afford it. And what you're going to do is that you're also going to remove all of the people that were not even going to be able to buy from you in the first place, because you're going to get a lot of people that actually go through those courses and this coaching, but they don't implement anything. But the people that jump in and actually do implement the work, that actually do want to get to this like desired state, those are the people that are going to be like the most loyal to you, because you've given them literally everything, giving them like, you know, the start to finish, all of that kind of good stuff, the roadmaps, the stuff to avoid. You've given them everything, so there's literally nothing stopping from them from buying you essentially from this like whole program essentially. So as long as you keep pushing people to like your low ticket offers or like your desired or like your free stuff, like I always recommend just making them free, because a lot more people are going to get to you that way, and then build up that warm audience of people that can actually buy from you. And then you actually pitch out to that warm audience. You pitch people your high ticket offer. You can still pitch people like over here, but you're not going to get as much, you know, attention as you would do over here. And then what you do is that you actually repeat this. And the reason why this is super sustainable compared to this is that you actually educated people in this section over here. You're actually giving them something that can make them, that can transform them from, let's say, someone that was making no money into someone that's actually making money that can actually afford your service. What happens here is that people, they don't transform you. All they do is that they give you like that edging value of like, oh, this is basically what I do for people on my program. Oh, we implement this. If you want to jump on a call, like, you know, 15-minute walkthrough, then link it by my or something like that. They don't, you know, give you any sort of value. They don't give you like actual, you know, like super calls, like 1 hour calls, 2 hour calls, all that kind of good stuff. A lot of people, they just don't do that to this audience, because they'll be like, oh, this is for my clients. Like if you want this, you have to pay me like 5K. And then they're going to be thinking like, wow, I want to really pay this 5K. 5K, and then what's gonna happen is that they're gonna leave, and then they're gonna find a way to get that 5K, and then once they find a way, they're not gonna buy from you because they're gonna find a way to buy from the person who taught them how to get a 5K essentially. So I hope this part makes sense, and I hope you kind of see how like unsustainable doing this is. And I feel like in 2023, a lot of people are actually gonna realize that this is probably not the best way of doing things. This new way is this is super simplified, by the way, because there's a lot more that goes into this. But this new way is essentially, the best way that you can actually sustain people, actually educate people, and then make sure that as you're growing, as you're getting like more people joining your course, the quality of people and the quality of buyers and is also going up as well too. So implement this, and I promise you, like, clients is never gonna be like a word for you anyways. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was very helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.